sit there in AC. Why not?
Okay, once more. Welcome everybody in this nice Sunday morning, Sunday evening for India. Today we're going to talk about some very practical applications of spirituality. So the title says the law of attraction because that is the most popular term that people use in the market for what we're going to talk today. But this is something that our ancient sages, saints, they have been talking about this for thousands of years already. And we're going to see how this aligns with whatever we have learned so far. Okay. So the title is The Law of Attraction, the Power of Gratitude. So what is the law of attraction? The first thing to keep in mind is that it's a law, which means it never fails. So for example, when we talk about gravity, we say law of gravity. We don't say the theory of gravity, because gravity is gravity. It will never fail. Just like that, this is also a law. And this law applies to our thoughts and how they influence reality. So that's why it's a very important law for us to understand. Like attracts like. So that is part of the law, which says if you have positive thoughts, you will see positive outcomes. If you have negative thoughts, you're going to see negative outcomes. It's a law again. And once you understand this law, you will realize how to change your life circumstances just by understanding that everything is energy. Your thoughts are energy, your circumstances are energy, your hurdles are energy, your opportunities are energy, love is an energy, hate is an energy, everything is energy. Once we get into that mindset, it will become easier for us to understand what's going on and how to influence them. Now, before we go any further, and before anybody has any doubts, I want to proactively say that because we are all students of Bhagavad Gita here, people say that, oh, Krishna said, don't have material attachments. Does that mean that I should not have a good house? I should not have a good car? See, Krishna never said, don't live well. Krishna never said, don't succeed. In fact, Krishna wants Arjuna to fight the battle. Krishna doesn't say, okay, don't worry about anything, right? So Krishna wants us to succeed. Krishna wants us to have a good life. All Krishna is saying is, when you get material success, don't get attached to it. And don't make the material success your goal. It is not. It should just be something that enables you to do something higher. Just like your body, there's nothing wrong in keeping your body healthy and fit. In fact, Krishna says, be strong, become strong. But then you should not get attached to the body, showing off your body everywhere and spending hours in front of the mirror because you can't think anything more than your body. Krishna says that is wrong. Understand that this body also, you have to keep it fit so that you can use it in the service of God and spiritual evolution. See? So that block has to first go away. Understanding spirituality, growing on the spiritual path and getting close to Krishna does not mean you should be poor or you should not have material possessions. You can be well-to-do, you can do well, you can succeed, and you can be a great Krishna devotee. The best example is Raja Janak. Raja Janak had an entire kingdom, prosperous big kingdom. And he was also known as the biggest Vairagi. Because you can flip a finger and he can give away the entire kingdom to his guru. He's not attached. That is the goal. Okay. So with that, let us now see what law of attraction is. Again, my apologies. Initially, this presentation is actually pretty nice. I mean, I had animations and transitions all built into it. But today, we have to do it the simple way. But the message is more important. So let's go to the next one. Okay. So this is probably... So I used to teach law of attraction many years ago. And I kind of distilled it to what are the most potent aspects of it that I would like you to understand. This is probably the most potent aspect that we should all understand about law of attraction. What? Because we say it's a law, if the law says that A equals to B, and let us say you are not able to change B, then go and change A. Now, because it is a law, B has to change automatically. So, replace A with your internal world and B with the external world that you see around you, manifesting around you. Now, for example, you say, I will have a good day, which is B, and I feel happy, which is A. In other words, you are now telling me that if I have a good day, I'm going to feel happy. But can you force the day to be good? It's not in your control. There are a million parameters, so you can't force the day to be good. But can you make yourself happy? That is in your control. And it is a law of the universe. So if A equals to B, and if you can change A, the B will change. So if you make yourself happy, the day will become good. It may sound silly, it may sound simple, but it is very profound. There are some people who wake up grumpy. They wake up angry. They wake up irritated. There is a very silly phrase used in the Western world. This guy got up on the wrong side of the bed. Okay, but he got up on the wrong side of the bed like hours ago. Why is that still impacting that person now? And then by evening, that person wonders what a horrible day it has been. My boss was bad. The pedestrians were rude. The shopkeeper was not happy. You can't change any of that. They just have to introspect on how their state of mind was. And it takes a lot of courage and humility to acknowledge that we are responsible for the most part to our experience that we have throughout the day. So the law of attraction pretty much, that is why this is the most profound part. This part basically says that if you want a certain life, if you want certain circumstances, if you want certain results in your business, for example, or if you want a certain experience in your job, you cannot change, you cannot control any of them with your willpower. That's beyond your control. You can try, but you can't control. What you can control is visualize, like let us say Alap is running a business and Alap wants the business to be successful. Now visualize how you will feel internally when your business is successful. Visualize how you will behave when your business is successful. Visualize that. If you can visualize that, try to be that now. Try to feel that way now. Try to behave that way from now onwards. Your business has to succeed. It's magical, it's simple. That's the whole concept of reciprocal relationship. In other words, this one law, if you understand it correctly, you will understand that the power to change your world is within you. This is what it means. So, we will have some time for question and answers as well, but these are all pretty important. Now let us see where gratitude comes into picture. And before we go, I can give you a stupid example, because usually silly, stupid examples stay in the mind. Very good examples people forget. So once Swamiji told a disciple, he said, "You see that mountain?" He said, "Yes." He said, "You see that coconut?" He said, "Yes." He said, "When that mountain and the coconut meet each other with a great force, something miraculous will happen." Now imagine this disciple asking his friend to hold the coconut, and he's going to try and move the mountain now. Because Swamiji said the mountain and the coconut have to meet each other. And is it possible? We may laugh and we may say, "Oh, that is so silly. Why is he moving the mountain?" He just has to throw the coconut at the mountain, right? Because it doesn't matter if the mountain hits the coconut or the coconut hits the mountain. The end result is the same. But that makes sense. Why does this not make sense then? Because The Swamiji says, when you have a good day, you will feel happy. You are searching for a good day. You cannot move the day. What you can do is, okay, I can be happy. Then the day will automatically become good. That is the whole concept of this. And this gratitude is the key ingredient. Whatever magic we have discussed so far, it sounds very simple. It is. It's very effective. Definitely. But all that magic needs this key ingredient called gratitude. Why? Because gratitude shifts your focus from what you lack to what you have. So as we just discussed, A equals to B. Correct? So when you have a lot of loss, when you have failures, how do you feel? You sometimes feel sad, you sometimes feel stressed, you sometimes feel anxious. But then if you're always feeling sad and stressed and anxious, guess what? You will always face failures. Because it's a law. A equals to B. You are working hard to change your business, you're working hard to change what happens in your job, you're working hard, but you're not changing yourself, you're not changing your mindset. And what is the easiest way to change the mindset? That is where Krishna also says the same thing. Naradji also says the same thing. And the Western philosophy also says the same thing. Be in a mindset of gratitude. Like yesterday in Bhagavad Gita class, we discussed Yajna Shrishta. In other words, this is another reason why we offer everything to God first. Because that is a mindset of gratitude. And when you are in gratitude, you are focusing on everything that you have. So your mindset is, I have. And when your mindset is, I have, your external world will give you more and more and more. Because it's a law. The universe has to be true to the law. So simple, right? So that is why, if you don't know how to practice gratitude, start with just simple thanks. You wake up in the morning, that's why we say thanks to anything. Say thanks to something in the morning. Start that way. And whenever you feel fear in your mind, everybody, all of us who are in the material world, we all feel fear at some point for something. We feel fear of failure, we feel fear of poverty, we feel fear of so many things. Catch that thought and replace it with a thought of love. Replace it with thought of abundance. And Krishna says, replace it with thought of God. And what is God? God is love. God is abundance. God is merciful. That is what it is. It means. This is what Krishna means when he says, replace all those negative thoughts with thoughts of me. I hope this makes sense. So that gratitude, like we discussed in yesterday's Bhagavad Gita session also, we discussed how when you are thankful, when you do your duties without attachment, and when you get into the mindset of everything has to be consumed after offering, we discussed how you actually are playing a role in the smooth functioning of the entire universe. Krishna explained it. That is the same concept that has been explained in the law of attraction. This gratitude creates a transformative ripple effect, not only in your personal world, but also in the whole universe. So one person can make a positive impact in the universe. See, what is universe? Universe includes you, right? Now, you are part of the universe. So if somebody has to define the net state of a universe, they can say the universe is 99.99999% happy, but there is this 0.0001% unhappy, and that is you. So you go change yourself, you become happy, you are influencing the universe. Universe now becomes 100% happy. You see, it's very, very, very strong, very empowering concept. So somebody said, when a butterfly flaps its wings, the effect is felt somewhere in the universe. This is the true meaning of that. When you are able to be in a mindset of gratitude, thankfulness, love, you are making the universe a better place. So empowering. The other very empowering concept is when we are in this mindset, usually people, if you look at your friends, if you look at your relatives, especially people who seem to not have succeeded in life, people who seem to be sad, usually, or depressed. No, unfailingly they will use the language. Like I'll say in Hindi, they will say, "Mere साथ ही क्यों होता है?" Why does everything happen to me? Why do all the bad things have to happen to me? Have you seen such people? Very common. Sometimes we also get into that mindset. Why me? Correct? Now, our scriptures as well as Western scriptures, they give us this secret that says, once you get into the mindset of gratitude, instead of being a spectator, because when you are a spectator, things happen to you. You actually become a co-creator. Instead of being a spectator and letting things happen to you, you become a co-creator and you start creating abundance. You start creating the life you want. And for that, what you need to do, not go and change something outside in the world. You just go inside and change how you feel. Because you have understood the law of the universe. You have understood the law of the reciprocal nature of the universe. That is the biggest empowering secret, where you can become the co-creator of your own destiny. So needless to say, if you can understand this, what we have learned, see, this is not rocket science. And
don't go far. Steady, don't go far.
So this is not rocket science. And this doesn't need complex Sanskrit or Hebrew or anything like that. It's very simple. And once we understand this, it will lead us to profound transformation. So this is what some great saints have said when they said that the power of the universe lies within us. And how do you harness that power? You harness that. How do you get electricity in your house? You have to put the plug in the right socket, correct? Just like that, the entire power of the universe is accessible. All you have to do is connect to the right socket. And that right socket is a mindset of gratitude, a mindset of abundance. When you have that mindset, it is like plugging into the right socket. And then the whole power of the universe is yours, at your service. So what all can you accomplish once you understand this? You can pretty much accomplish anything. Be it relationships, be it health, be it career. Everything will work out the way you want if you can just understand this. The reason why I am talking about this topic after we have studied second chapter of Bhagavad Gita is because I would like everybody to understand this in the right context. We are not asking people to become materialistic. We are not saying people should now start saying, okay, from tomorrow I'm going to practice law of attraction and I'm going to get a Mercedes. And then you can't think of anything other than a Mercedes. You pretty much missed the point. That is not what this is for. This is for, I want to evolve spiritually. I want to reach my ultimate goal of self-realization. And to do that, I need to first make sure that my material needs are taken care of. Because as long as I'm having material needs, it is a distraction. It doesn't let me focus on something higher. For that, I need ABC. And the best way to reach ABC is through this understanding of law of attraction. That is the whole picture. So how can we practice gratitude? Here are some of the techniques. One of the technique is writing down things every day. See, it is not typing, it is writing. Very important, because when we actually write, there is a strong connection with the brain. And so writing is a very, very effective way of practicing gratitude. In fact, the best time to write this is before going to sleep. Before going to sleep, spend just 10 minutes. Use a notebook or a journal and every day write at least a paragraph of the things that you are grateful for. And when you talk with people, even when you talk with God, let it be a language of gratitude rather than a language of complaint. And also, I've seen a technique used which is called a gratitude jar, where people have a big glass jar or a china clay jar, whatever. And every time they really feel happy about something or they feel thankful about something, they'll write it in a small piece of paper, they will roll it and put it inside the jar. And as they see the jar grow, they feel even more happy. They feel more thankful, looking at how many things they have been thankful for. Very powerful technique. The other technique is practicing in a group. You can leverage what we call as collective consciousness. That is one of the benefits of satsanga. So when you are in a group where everybody feels grateful, the impact of your gratefulness increases 10 times. Because when you are grateful and thankful in a group, you are encouraging somebody else also to feel that way. So the impact multiplies. Very strong, very powerful. So please do that. You already have satsanga available to you. Practice it there. At least once a day you can message. We have a gratitude group now. So in that group, once a day, message what you are thankful for, what you are grateful for, and see. And my request is pick one or more of these techniques and practice it regularly for 21 days minimum. But there is a science behind it. It is documented in many different places that if you can practice something consistently for 21 days, then it becomes a habit. Then nobody has to tell you after that. It will just automatically come. So I'm going to keep our gratitude group alive for 21 more days. Let us add a buffer and say 22 days. So use that for that time period and practice gratitude. And once you have done it consistently, I will know how many of you are doing it. Once you have done it consistently, we can close the group. We no longer need the group because you would have all gotten into the habit of practicing gratitude. And then later on, someday in life, you can write me a message and say how it has helped you and how you have become successful. Okay. I hope this all makes sense. So that's pretty much what I wanted to talk to you about. I can now open the floor for any question answers and I'll stop the sharing. Okay. Did it all make sense? We can't hear you.
Yes, Guruji.
Okay, I can hear.
Very much.
Tanuja ji, you were saying something?
Yeah, actually, I'm saying that Guruji, I had done this once, maybe 3 to 4 years back. I used to just say a simple prayer in the morning. One particular task, I had some prayer. So I used to say that every day around 9 o'clock in the morning, just for 2-3 seconds, I used to just say it, and it really happened. After 15-20 days, it just really happened.
Yes.
So this work, and then I stopped, once I got this, and then I got busy with something else. But yes, again,
it always works. It's a law. It always works. The only caveat is don't be attached to the outcome. So you shouldn't every day say, okay, I'm grateful now. I've been grateful for 10 days. Nothing is happening. I've been thankful for 10 days. Nothing is. Then you are missing the point because you are not really in a mindset of gratefulness because now you are in a mindset of anxiety.
Yeah.
This is Krishna's master stroke. When Krishna says don't be attached to outcomes, what Krishna is telling you is if you're focused on the outcome, your mindset is a mindset of anxiety.
Correct.
How can you be anxious internally and expect happiness and abundance externally? It doesn't work. That is against the law of the universe. You see? So, if you really want success outside, you have to feel the success inside. And to feel success, you cannot have anxiety. So, practice gratitude, practice thankfulness, and don't worry about the results. Tell yourself that if the result doesn't come tomorrow, it will come day after tomorrow. It has to come. It's a law. I know it will work. If you have that mindset, you will become a co-creator. You will become a magic worker, miracle worker. And you will see things start working for you like this. Yes, Alapji.
Guruji, thank you for so much for the session. So, just have a question. So from inside we feel like we have gratitude, we are very positive, but then you have your small inner world, which you have your friends, family. Sometimes you get affected by what's happening around you. So how to not get affected and how to stay positive. And because let's say I'm staying positive throughout and something happens from outside which affects me indirectly, so how to counter that and stay positive overall and practice gratitude?
No, very good question, very practical question. We all face this challenge. My answer may seem very simple, but the answer is simple because this is the answer given by Krishna. We get impacted only because we are attached. Attachment is the cause of every pain we face. Okay. For example, somebody takes away 10 rupees from you, they don't return it. Why are you sad? Why are you upset? Why are you attached? It's okay. It's gone. It's gone. It's not going to come back. Detach. Just like that, somebody tells you something. Somebody says, whatever, some negative word they tell you. They call you an idiot. I'll give you a simple example. This example is one of my favorite examples because we can all relate to that. Let us say you have a 2-year-old or 1-year-old child in your family. It may be your own child or your brother's child or whatever. And you are playing with that child and the child is giggling, laughing and saying, "Hey, you are idiot." Are you going to feel upset and sad? No, you're going to laugh it away, right? But let us say a grown-up comes and says, "Hey, you are an idiot." Is that going to upset you? Yes, it upsets you. Why? What was said was the same. So why one upset you and one didn't upset you? Because in the child's case,
He doesn't know what he's talking.
that is your belief. In other words, you refuse to believe in that because you believed that you are fine. It is the child which doesn't know what it is doing. But when a grown-up says, you believe in that. And you are attached. That is attachment. Correct? And you are also attached to your precious ego. Your fragile ego. How did that guy say? And the guy says that and the guy goes away and the guy is partying, having a nice time, but you are here sulking. So detach. Detach from your ego. उसको जो बोलना था बोल दिया है, चलो वो उसकी belief है. They say, a cobbler will see a shoe wherever he goes. A tailor will see a dress wherever he goes. So a person who is disturbed inside will see disturbance wherever they go. They will pick, so it's not about you, it's about them. So don't let that impact you is what I would say. And if you introspect deeply, you will realize that whenever we feel disturbed, it is because of our own attachment to something. It is not because of what happened outside. Keep reminding yourself about that child example. When somebody tells you something that you don't like, imagine that person is actually a ignorant child. Just visualize, okay, actually to bachcha hai, kuch to bak raha hai. Then you no longer feel upset. Okay. Yeah, I hope that helps in some way, Alapji.
Yes, Guruji, thank you so much. Thank you.
Asha, you wanted to say something, your hands is up.
Yes, Prabhuji. So on the similar note, I want to, I had listened it somewhere, I don't remember it, it was if someone is, saying some bad words in some other language, which we doesn't know, at that time we can't understand what that person is saying. Then it is we are giving the meaning to the words. Let's suppose someone is saying you are bad in the another language which we doesn't understand. At that time we can't feel anything. But when we know that language, at that time we are the person, we are giving meaning to that word. So I had listened it somewhere, so I thought I
No, that's a good example. Very good example. The same thing where, we are causing the pain, not the other person. We are attaching it to our ego. We are attaching it to our own self-worth. We don't do that. Let them say what they want to say. It is a outcome of what they are. It's not an outcome of what you are. You see, there is a very famous saying that somebody tells you somebody tells you that you are lame. Lame means your legs don't work. You know, so langde ho in Hindi, or somebody says you are lame. So you go and sit in a wheelchair, and then you spend the rest of your life in a wheelchair. Does it not sound stupid? Like, what are you doing? Oh, that guy called me a lame, so I cannot walk now. Does it make any sense? The same way, when somebody says you are selfish, you are arrogant, you are this, you are that, अरे ठीक है ना, that is उसको बोलने दो ना. Why does that have to become your reality? Only when you let people's words become your reality, that is when it affects you. You have to be very, very objective with your own self. I'm not saying ignore all inputs. What I'm saying is use your own intellect and judgment. So if somebody tells me, Vinayak, you are very aggressive, I'm going to introspect a little bit. I'm going to ask for data points. I'm going to ask, okay, what made you say that? I'm not immediately reacting. Oh, how can he say I'm aggressive? I'm such a nice guy. No, I'm going to say, okay, my friend, can you give me some data points? What makes you say this? So they will say, okay, that day when you came in, you sat like this, and that made me feel intimidated. Oh, so that is the problem. So, then I will introspect. Okay, maybe there are a few behaviors I may need to change so that people don't feel that way, but nothing is wrong with me. It is how people are perceiving me, and I'm happy to adapt. That should be the mindset. So it becomes an empowering thought rather than a victim thought. So this is all I would like to share. And I can tell you that it has helped me personally. It has been a tough journey for me. So whatever I'm saying is not theory, it is practice. Today, if I'm even alive, that's because I was able to practice some of this. I'm not an attention seeker by any chance, but if it encourages you, if it makes you have conviction, then I would like to share a small real life example. Many years ago, I think I'm talking about the 90s. So I have seen ups and downs in life. I will not go into details, but I'll just say that there was one instance where, for some unknown reason, I had some very insane hypertension, blood pressure, when I was just 23 years old. My numbers were insane. It used to be like, I still remember the day I went, and Kalpana was a friend at that time. So we both went to a clinic. She was with me. And so the doctor said, I have to check your BP. I'm like, yeah, whatever. So he goes, and he sends his young assistant to go check my BP. So she just shouts some numbers, 210 by 170 or something like that, she said. And the doctor got very upset with her. He's like, एक काम दिया तुमको, वो ठीक से आता नहीं तुमको करने को, क्या बक रहे हो, वगैरह वगैरह. And then the doctor comes and he checks himself. And it was really like 210 by 170. I was 23 years old, and the doctor's face changed. I didn't understand. Fortunately, I didn't understand what they're talking. What is 210? What is 170? What is hypertension? मुझे कुछ पता ही नहीं है. And the doctor looks at me and he says, you are a walking bomb. This is the word he used. He said, you are a walking bomb. He said, I don't want to even touch you. He said, you may not even reach home today. He said, कहाँ से आए हो? मैं बोला, मैं पिंपरी से आया हूँ. We were in Pune. बाइक लेके जाना है. He said, नहीं. And he said, you have to stop everything. You can't work. You can't drive. You can't this. You can't that. You have to get admitted immediately. But fortunately, I was a, very rebellious young kid. And I'm like, क्या बक रहा है यार ये बंदा? Like, what does he mean? I cannot do anything, right? I went on, carried on business as usual. Bike liya, घर गया. And today I'm almost 50 and I'm still alive, right? But I have seen people who have a blood pressure of like 160 and they become bedridden. What I'm trying to tell you is, I'm not saying medical problems are not real, but what I'm saying is, they become worse when you let it impact you. If I had believed what the doctor said, if I had let it impact me negatively, I would have collapsed. The doctor said you are a human bomb, and I believe it. I start totally like buying into it. The doctor says you cannot drive. That is it. I freeze. See, that is the problem. None of that would matter. Tomorrow somebody comes and tells you something is wrong with you. If you react negatively, if you believe in it, that will impact you more. Is all I'm trying to tell you. My whole intent is to motivate and pump you guys up. We are the co-creators. We are not victims. We are not just observers. Simranji, you had something to say? Oh, Poonamji, you are very
Yes.
good in Hindi. So
Yeah.
gratitude को हिंदी में क्या बोलते हैं?
शुक्र करना, शुक्राना,
शुक्राना.
शुक्रगुजार करना किसी को.
Monica ji, hope that helps. So, anybody else has anything else to add? Because it's a Sunday, I don't want to take too much of your time. Ekansh has already changed his dress.
Going for work, Prabhuji.
Thank you, my dear Satsang. If you have any questions, you can always reach out to me offline. I don't want to take much of your Sunday, precious Sunday. So I'll let you all go. And as I said, that group is for you, the gratitude group. Please start practicing from tomorrow or from tonight. Every day, just write what you are thankful for, what you are grateful for. And also write in a diary or a small journal. Kalpana can share the details on the WhatsApp. Like, she practices that pretty regularly. And if the jar idea appeals to you, you can also keep a jar. But those are all just techniques. What matters is the mindset. So with that, I will wrap it up. Hope this all helps you in some way. Hare Krishna. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Hare
Thank you
Krishna,
so much.
Guruji.
Hare
Thank
Krishna.
you.
Hare Krishna. Thank you,
Hare
everyone.
Krishna.
Thank you.
Bye, everyone.
Hare Krishna.
Thank you.
Preeti ji, feel better soon.
I know. I will. Thank you. Much better today than yesterday.